Hi everyone. The morning after the night before. I personally hate Saturday night football. I think it's a real pain in the arse. But to be fair, we had a good night down at the Avocet in Parkstone in Poole. Well, Sonny does it again. Keeps racking up those goals, doesn't he? Bless him. Harry Kane is stumbling towards the end of the season. But when you need him, Heung Min Son is there. And he puts it in the back of the net against arguably the best team in the world right now. Certainly one of the best teams in Europe, and certainly one of the best teams in the Premier League. Keeps the Premier League title race alive, and still gives us hope of top four. I've said it many times in the videos. I never really expected us to still be in the race for top four. I didn't expect us to be in the top four at all anyway, but I've never expected us to still be in the race this late in the day. It's not in our hands. To be fair, Arsenal are on an unbelievable run, beating Chelsea and West Ham, which are probably their biggest challenges toward, out of the fixtures that we had left. Liverpool was our one. But we all know how that goes, Spurs, right? So we could have a great result against Liverpool, and it is a great result. There's not many teams that have been up there and got anything from it, to be fair. So to come away with a point and to be that close to all three. If only Højbjerg had a bit more composure about himself and a bit more self-belief, could have been a totally different story. There's not many teams that do that, and old Clippity Klopp can have his complaints as much as he likes and bitch and moan about everybody else and how many games there are in a season and all that sort of malarkey. But at the end of the day, any team that goes there has got to have a game plan and got to play to that game plan and play to that strength. You cannot just sit back and let them play and rip you apart. That's not going to happen. So defensively last night we were very, very solid. Emerson Royal had probably his best game, to be fair. The guy is getting pelters week in, week out. 21 years old, playing in a position that's not really his position. Getting absolute pelters, and understand it. Absolutely understand it and get it. And personally, I believe we need an upgrade on him for sure. Certainly at this moment in time. Whether he can turn it around and get better and better as he gets older, God only knows. But we need winners now. We need top players now. And I have to say, Romero, class, absolute class as well. He's really brought some stability in that back four, along with Dyer, who's having a decent season, to be fair, considering what he's been through. And again, you can't, when you're talking about, that back line, you can't help but say how good Davies was yesterday. Saved us on numerous occasions. And I've got to say, I was pleased to have him in. I think he's been probably our most improved player under Conte during the course of this season. Because, again, another one who's been under immense pressure to try to actually achieve, some kudos in the fans' minds. So really good for him. Really disappointed that the ref didn't have the balls to look at Firmino, is it, who absolutely took Kane out in the game. Should have been a yellow card, didn't get one. Then took Sonny out. I mean, literally elbowed him in the face. You could see it, and probably why he needed to come off in the end. Nothing for that. Well, a yellow card for that. So, but there are some occasions in that game that, some tasty challenges. But listen, overall, a good game. If you're a neutral, and there ain't many of them around, would have enjoyed that game. But for me, it was. I was going to say a disappointment, but I don't think it is. I think, like I said at the beginning, you can't expect to go there and take 3 points and to be ahead for all that time, and then to as always with these games with Liverpool, we always seem to get some really dodgy luck. Any other time, Diaz hits that ball and it spoons off of someone, goes out for a corner, and to be fair, I thought we did really well in corners yesterday. But dog's luck that absolutely going to go in the back of the net after Hugo had a couple of good saves, but apart from that, he didn't really have an awful lot to do, to be fair. So the top four is still on mathematically, but we've got to win those games. Arsenal have got to lose one somewhere along the line or get a duff result somewhere. Will it be against Leeds today? I doubt it. At the Emirates, can't see them dropping points against them. Newcastle, potentially. Everton, if they still need something to stay up, will they put a real performance in? And then sometimes if a team's relegated, it can give them the freedom to just do what they want and play what they want, which comes back to us really, which is a bit of a danger for us, because obviously we've still got Norwich to play, who are relegated, so they won't have nothing to play for, but can't see them rolling over. They might want to take some pride and play with some passion towards the end of the game, end of the season. So it's still going to be a really hard run in. It's still going to be difficult. Man United, being absolute pants this season, has gifted us this opportunity to be in the mix for top four, which is great. West Ham dropping like a stone, also great. Chelsea dropping points, Wolves nicking that at the end really helps us out, because potentially they've only got to trip up again and we could end up getting fourth place by default of Chelsea not being very good. You just have to wait and see. But good game to have watched. Great atmosphere in the other set yesterday. The other South Dorset Spurs group were in the Royal Oak in Weymouth. So they had their group and we had our little group. It's only a little group, but there was lots of Tottenham supporters in there. A few Liverpool as well, so it was a bit of a mixed batch. Even had a couple of gooners, which is really sad considering that we live rent free in their heads for sure. So it's all still to play for. We keep the faith, we keep holding on, and we keep hoping that we get this rub of the green for once. But you know what it's like. But keep the faith. At the end of the day, fifth is an improvement on where we were last season. Puts us in the Europa League. My hope is that in the summer, Daniel Levy actually listens to Conte, gets the players that we need, not only to get us into the Champions League the season after, but to actually challenge to try to win the Europa. We've seen how far West Ham have got. So it says to me, it's there to be taken. All those years of poo-pooing it and looking down on it. About time we started, playing seriously in the competitions that we're in and trying to win something. Trophy is far too late that we haven't had one for so long. It's a joke. A club of this size really ought to be challenging more and more, and progression is always the key. Got to progress. You've got to give managers and players the tools to really challenge and add to their trophy haul. So for me, looking forward to hopefully a day out, and I'll see you all at the next one for me, which will be Burnley. Can't make the Arsenal game midweek, but giving that to a friend. So, but I will be there for Burnley, and hopefully it will still be all to play for. Up the Spurs.